Welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. So glad you guys could be with us today. This is one of our IG exclusives that we do when it comes to our live broadcast here. So I'm glad you all could join us. We're going to be welcoming Dr. Teresa A. Smith to our broadcast today, aka Dr. Taz. You guys know her here on IG as Dr. Teresa Smith. We're going to talk to her about the new edition of her book, Stronger, that she just is making available for pre-order, as well as all the great things that are happening with her. Hello to you, Ritzy. Good to be able to see you. Glad you could be able to join us. If you guys have any questions or comments for Dr. Taz, feel free to be able to put those in the chat. We'll be glad to be able to have those come up for us as well. One of the great things about Dr. Taz is that she's recognized for a lot of different things. There's Dr. Taz. Going to try to bring her in here. Let's. Dr. Taz, how we doing?
I'm good, Cyrus. How are you doing?
Doing amazing. I don't know what was happening here.
Cyrus, it's just always with me. That's the reason why I have to be stronger and bounce
Okay, well,
back.
there you go. There you go. Well, Dr. Taz, I did not know when we had planned this. This was actually a reschedule. I had a friend of mine, a classmate of mine that passed away. Dr. Taz was supposed to be on with us on Friday, but they were having the viewing on Friday, and she was gracious enough to reschedule for us for today. So I appreciate that. So, but it's great we're able to talk, Dr. Taz, because you just had the second edition of your book Stronger go available for pre-order on Kindle edition. We're going to talk about that. Also, you just won another literary award this year. Talk to us about 2025 so far, Dr. Taz. It seems to be going pretty good for you.
Cyrus, well, first of all, thank you for having me, and thank you for everyone for working with us. And 2025 has gotten off to a great start. I was reflecting before we got started. There are a lot of irons that I still have in the fire, and if you're one of the people that I got an iron in the fire with, just know that I haven't forgotten you. But it has been an amazing year, borrowing your word. It has been truly amazing. And what I would want to leave the audience is when you focus and do the work, you will see things begin to happen. And so I'm just so I'm pleased with the work that I'm doing, and I'm pleased with the outcomes that I'm seeing. And I'm very appreciative to the Authors Ball Award and Dinner organization for seeing the value in my work. I won the Purpose Driven Literature Award. And I was talking to one of my girlfriends yesterday, and she was talking about the award. And I was telling her, and I said, I don't know who nominated me, but it's the perfect award for me because everything that I write is about your purpose and you're living your best life. And I was just so humbled and grateful that someone recognized that. So it's been a great quarter.
Yeah, and this quarter is off to a great start as well as we're barreling toward halfway through the year already. But Taz, you said something really interesting, and I hope our audience caught that. So I want to go back to it. You talked about doing the work, but also you talked about focus, and the two go hand in hand, but they're not the same thing. So I want to talk to you about what has helped you. There's a lot of distractions going on in the world right now. There are a lot of people that can't focus because they have their eye on this thing and that thing or being afraid of this or that. What has helped you to focus, just keep your eyes on the prize?
Cyrus, I'm still a work in progress and I'm always reflecting. And that's one thing that does it, guys. Believe it or not, I'm always reflecting. And before I came on, I was reflecting on some things. And I was reflecting on one of my mentors uses Martha Stewart as a pioneer and how she was able to leverage what she did, how she diversified. And I was thinking about that, and my person is Gordon Ramsay, because like I said, I love everything Gordon Ramsay.
Mm-hmm.
And Gordon has a new show coming on. Well, Gordon has lots of shows. He's got a new show that's going to come to Fox. I think it's May 21st. And I saw that last week, and I thought, And I thought about all the shows that he has, but there's a common theme. It's still about cooking, and some of them still about mentoring individuals, but each one has a different twist to it. And so I think listening to my mentor, realizing that I had it in front of me all the time, but I was not dialed into it the way I should have been. So what I've begun to do, Cyrus, is look at what is it that I do, where can I merge things that I do, and where can I simplify? Because I think sometimes we make it too complex, and and I'm an analytical person because I'm always thinking, but I make it too complex sometimes. And so just learning that it's okay to keep it simple, as a friend of mine told me years ago, keep it simple, stupid, kiss. And that's really helped me. And what I've seen is the progression. If I'm focused on this, do this, get it done, then you move to the next thing, get it done, and so on. And then when you look back, you will see that many things have been accomplished. And if they're all part of your larger plan, the pieces of your puzzle are coming together, and then you'll be pleasantly surprised at different intervals in the year.
Right. That's such a great point and such a great lesson as well. And speaking of, being able to diversify, as you mentioned, Martha Stewart is a great example of that. But I mentioned, of course, Taz's first book was Stronger, but she has also given the world other books. I just so happen to have some of them here. Transformation, you guys can see that. Then Taz got into some trouble, y'all. So then there was Transformation, The Bounce Back,
I
as you
did.
can see there. But then she has this book, Dr. Taz Speaks. You guys may remember that from last year. Also, she has, you may have seen her recently in the kitchen. So there's this book that you see here, Transform with Taz Healthy Recipes. But you were very proud, though, of this book, Taz, that you released this year as well in the Transformation series. You call it, of course, your Mama Said book. I want to talk about, though, the accomplishments themselves, because we've talked about Stronger before. We're going to talk about why you felt like now was the time to give us the new edition. But what has it been like for you to kind of look at your journey in your life as shared in your books?
Cyrus, I can't say humbling enough, but then I'm going to pull back and I'm going to talk about it from a different perspective. It's amazing to me to see how that little girl who was sexually abused at 4, who used to lie in her bed and cry and talk to God and her grandmother and her uncle, it's amazing to me now to see how he was orchestrating my life. All the good things that happened, all the things that were not so good. And as a friend of mine would say, that things are happening for us. And so now that I'm at this stage, I can see that. And I see with each book that I write, it's a component of that. And for me, it's like, I I can't really still wrap my brain around it because I don't know what the end's going to be like. And I'm the
Right.
type of person, I want to know the end. But I don't need to know because if I knew the end, the process would change. And it's
Yeah.
the process that I'm going through that I then share with others that's going to make the difference in somebody's life. So to me, it is truly amazing how my life is unfolding. It's not what I expected, but I am very pleased and I'm very humbled that I get to live it and then share my nuggets with other people.
Taz, I want to get personal for a second here. And I'm going to ask you this question. I'm asking it to you, but I want our audience to reflect on this as well. I just showed not one book, but several books that you've been able to write, right? Including a cookbook. There are plenty of people out there who have a dream of writing one book, right? They have a dream of having one show. You have a couple shows.
Mhm.
They have a dream of speaking. You've spoken at many things,
Mhm.
hosted things.
Mhm.
What was it in your life that let you know that in spite of what you just shared, going back to that girl at 4 years old, that Taz was worthy of whatever she wanted to do?
It's Mama Said, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just giving you guys a little breaking news. I interviewed my mama recently, and we cried together, like the OJ said. We cried together, but really, it's Mama Said because my mother taught me that I could do anything. And we talk about you don't have to be a size 2 because I was shapely, and then I got more shapely as I started to gain weight. And
Mhm.
so she always taught me that it didn't matter what my size was, that I could do anything. And understand, I had been writing a book since I was a little girl. And I thought in 2017, when I released Stronger Edition 1, I thought that was it. I thought it was the end of the story. But my point in even bringing that up is one, My mother instilled in me that regardless of what was happening, I could do it too. Also, she showed me that it takes time for things to actually materialize. So, therefore, even though it seemed like I wasn't making progress, I never lost my drive and I didn't lose my dream. And
Yeah.
so, when my dream was finally fulfilled, it was like, okay, it took some time, but people talk about dream deferred. Well, I'm not even going to say it was deferred. I wasn't ready. It was something that I knew I wanted to do, but I hadn't learned how to write. I hadn't learned how to write to the audience, as I try to tell my graduate students. You have to write for the audience, but that means you got to analyze to see who the audience is. I didn't know anything about that. So what am I saying? I had to learn. You have to learn. So therefore, you got to put in the work, not only doing what you're trying to do, but you got to learn it. I mean, nobody just wakes up and has several shows that I'm hosting.
Mhm.
I always knew that I was going to have a show, uh, meaning one. I never thought I would have several shows.
Yeah.
And that's been a process for me. So my thing would be to anybody, Cyrus, you can do it. You just have to focus and not get discouraged and understand that you're not going to be a rock star overnight. Because I don't consider myself a rock star. I consider myself a person who's constantly working at their craft, trying
Yeah.
to get better.
Mhm. You mentioned Mama Said, so I want to go to this book, Transformation, How Mama's Wisdom Unlocks the Secrets to Success, in chapter 19.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 19 is, If She Can Do It, So Can I. And the Mama Said there was, for those that have their copy, is on page 59. I'm sorry, 57. Mama said, if anyone else can do it, you can do it and do it better. I want to talk about the Gleam recap because just like if you guys have read Taj's book Transformation, she's able to give you these messages and there's these Gleam recaps. So now in this book, we have the same thing. And there you say on page 59 in the Gleam recap, Taj, if you admire someone else's success, remember that they also started as a beginner. With hard work and perseverance, you can achieve just as much or maybe even more. The key is believing in yourself and never letting doubt hold you back. I want to talk about what helped you to believe it, though, because I went through a period in my life, and I talked about it, that led to my suicide attempts, where other people saw things in me I didn't see. So it didn't matter that they saw it. I didn't see it. What is it that helped Ties to see what was already there?
Hmm. And that's a hard question, Cyrus, because I'm thinking quickly. Our minds are like a computer bank, so it's running quickly. What helped me to see it and know that I could do it? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'd overcome so much, even though I never thought of it as overcoming, from the incest, seeing my uncle shot and killed, then losing my sight. I was out of school for about three, I almost say about 2.5 months when I lost my sight. And there are things that I missed. I wanted to be in the band, but I wasn't in school when they did band tryouts. So I missed that opportunity. But when I came back to school, I guess that would be the bridge. When I came back, I picked right up. And that's just the way I am. Do I get knocked down? Absolutely. But I think for me, I look at the gift. I have to think about this because some people won't understand what I'm saying. The obstacle, I'm not going to call them obstacles, the trauma has wound up being a gift because I lived through it and I thrived through it. I didn't just live through it, I thrived through it. So it tells me that I shouldn't doubt myself. Now, do I doubt myself? We're human. Yes, something will run across my mind. I always talk about give yourself a couple of hours to wallow, but you got to get up. Because if you wallow over a couple of hours, you done bought into it, and it's going to be harder to dig yourself out of it. It's like quicksand. And so for me, because I have had to overcome so much and so many different things at so many stages in my life, I just know that I can do it. I may have to learn it, but I can do it. And I have to be brave enough to walk into it knowing that I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the part about being a lifelong learner. But it is frightening. I will tell you that it's very frightening.
Hmm. What helps you get over the fear?
Oh, Cyrus just doing it. Oh, but music too, Cyrus. Now I just, everybody knows I write and I talk in songs, and you know, in Stronger, the second edition, I quote only one, well, maybe about two sentences of a song that Candy Staton made, um, and it says, "Sometimes I feel like I just can't go on." And basically you've heard this song, and I can't tell you the name of it right now, but you got the love. You've heard it if you've ever watched Sex and the City, because
Mm.
they played it there. And they play it on lots of different places. But I like that song. Also, another song by Candy Staton is Young Hearts Run Free. And I discovered that song, sorry, because you asked me what keeps me going. I discovered that song when I was trying to write my dissertation. I had to start over, and my chair told me, well, she told me that it had to be done by March 15th of 2012. Well, we had to start over October of 2011. December of 2011, I sat down at my computer, my heart started racing. And every time I would sit down, it started racing. And so I had to go on medication to slow my heart rate down. And so, but that song, that's when I found that song. And that song ministered to me. And so even now, when I feel a certain way, and I can't say what that way is, but I just know it, I will go to that songs. I will go to other things that are in my playlist, and I will listen to them, and they give me what I need to regulate and to refocus. Because I guess the music reminds me, because I listened to it before during a
Okay.
situation, that you overcame it. So if you overcame that, you'll overcome this. And so, Cyrus, let me say this, because basically what I'm doing is, and I never thought about it, I'm using music in a different way. You know, when we get disappointed, people listen to music, you're heartbroken, you listen to the sad songs.
Mhm.
Well, I guess I listen to the songs that make me feel good. And so
Yeah.
when circumstances come again, I go back to those songs and they uplift me instead of putting me in a melancholy stance.
Right. I get that. I'm the same way. I'm the same way, Toss. And you mentioned, of course, the new edition of Stronger. Why was now the time to be able to release it?
Well, Cyrus, I don't look like that anymore. First of all, it's a beautiful girl on the cover, but I don't look like that anymore. But I have gone through so many other things since then. And I did not change the story, because the story is my story. But I wanted to add some context to the book. And you know how I am. I'm a person that's reflective. So I had to add more questions, and I revised the questions that were there, because I just felt that our society's in a transition right now, but we're always in a transition. So it's not because of who's in political power, but we're always in a transition. And so I just felt that as we are transforming and transitioning, this was the time for me to put Stronger back out, package it in a different way, because I'm a different person now, so that my audience can get what I have gotten out of my life. And hopefully it will then help others as they are traveling through their life's journey. And also, it did receive an award, Chosen Pen Award in December. And, that is important, that they recognize that my life story was significant, and so I felt like this was the time to make sure I honored what they saw, so that I can still be of service to others.
Love that. Last thing I want to talk to you about is something, depending on how people are watching us, Taz, whether it's live or the replay. You recently posted some videos of you in the kitchen, so I want to go back to Transform with Taz healthy recipes as well. Talk to us about, I have told people I learned to cook from my grandmother, so if I cook for you, that's proof that I love you, that I
Ooh.
care for you. Um, what is your connection with food today?
Hmm. Now, that's a good question, Cyrus. What is my connection with food? Well, I learned to cook with my mom. I've been cooking from scratch cornbread since I was 9. And then I brought out my Easy Bake Oven recently, and you guys saw me make biscuits and, my Easter thing. But food is, I think my connection with food, it connects to my creativity, the
Yeah.
ability to rise. It's like my phoenix. You rise from the ashes. So for me, when I cook, it's my joy. it's everything to me because I love cooking, and even though I've had gastric sleeve surgery and I don't eat but a little bit, I still get this wonderful feeling being able to cook. And then, of course, I'm Southern, and I get real Southern when I'm in the kitchen, guys, because I just be enjoying myself. I go back to my childhood, but I'm Southern, and I remember my aunt coming home from work, sitting at my grandmother's table, eating. Then she'd go and cook her family's food. I remember my grandmother cooking, my dad's mama cooking me grits and eggs, and she didn't put cheese like mama did, but she gave me grits. She didn't put cheese in that either, but she put butter. Give me grits, that gave me weight. Grits and eggs, and she would give me homemade biscuits. So I would see her do that, and I would just sit in there and we'd just be talking about nothing. I don't even know what we were talking about, but it was a sense of calm, a sense of safety. And so for me, when I cook, it's all of that. And now on the flip side, I think about how can I, because I eat differently, how can I now share that with the world? Whether it's with my smoothies, guys, hint, hint, with my smoothies, or if it's with the desserts that I make that are sugar free, or whatever it is that I'm coming up with that gives me the crunch, because the crunch is so important because most foods are soft. And I recognize that, Cyrus, because I eat so little, it's like it's all soft food. And I want that texture difference. But I also think, Cyrus, that my connection is it's all about transformation and also the fact that you get to be who you want to be.
Right.
That's another part of my personality. I get to share that with the world and get them to see that they can have many sides to them, like the three sides of Eve. I'm misquoting the name of the movie, but we all have different sides of us, and all of those sides come together to make that one puzzle piece. And we should be okay with that and not allow other people to make us feel bad because we act this way in these circumstances. We are different in different circumstances. And if you're not changing like that, then we need to have a conversation because you can't be the same person, the exact same person in every situation that occurs in life. It just is not, that's not natural.
There you go. Taz, another great conversation with you again, everyone. Dr. Teresa A. Smith has been our guest here on IG. You guys know her as Dr. Teresa Smith. As I mentioned, she just released the second edition of her book, Stronger, that's available for pre-order right now. The Kindle edition is. Also, of course, you can catch her here with her show on Talk with Taz here on IG, and her show with her sister as well, Real Talk with Taz and Anjaya there too. Taz, let them know, though, how to stay connected with you.
Well, we're on IG, so the best way to stay in contact with me is just to follow me, Dr. Teresa A. Smith, here on IG. And then if you're trying to reach out to me, my Linktree bio is there, and it will connect you to every other spot that I'm on.
Love that. Goddaddy T, hello to you. Taz, great conversation as always. Looking forward to our next time together.
Thank you so much for having me, Cyrus.
More than welcome. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.